I really wanted to start this episode with Solange's Don't Touch My Hair, but we couldn't afford the rights. Okay, so this is a big one. Today we're debunking some common myths about black hair. Now, it'd be almost impossible to encompass every single thing about black hair in a 4-minute video, but before we actually get into the myths, let's take a few seconds to cover some of the basics. The thing to realize about most black hair is it's just hair. It just operates a little differently compared to the hair texture of other races and ethnicities. Afro-textured hair tends to be more tightly coiled and more porous than other textures, more susceptible to dryness, and less tolerant to over-manipulation. Of course, that doesn't mean all black hair is the same. Black hair can come in literally all kinds of shapes, colors, and sizes, from kinky to wavy, from jet black to blonde. The possibilities are endless. Natural black hair is hair that's texture has not been chemically altered with relaxers, texturizers, or perms. Common natural black hairstyles include afros, braids, locks, twists, bantu knots, and cornrows, just to name a few. Got it? Good. On to the myths. Myth number 1. Black people don't wash their hair. Okay, first, to anyone who thinks we don't wash our hair, really, bruh? No, black people do not have a debilitating fear of water. When a black girl says she doesn't want to get her hair wet, it's just because she doesn't want to mess up her hairdo. Healthy hair, whether it's white, black, or Asian, should have a good balance of natural oils that our scalps produce. Black hair actually thrives on moisture. With naturally straight hair, the oils are able to travel down the entire hair shaft more easily, which may lead to excess oil, meaning you might want to wash your hair more often to avoid it feeling greasy. But if you've got kinky or curly hair like most black people, the oils can have some trouble navigating all those spirals, making our hair more prone to dryness. Therefore, washing too much, especially with shampoos that strip our natural oils, is actually counterintuitive and even unhealthy. But we do wash our hair. Myth number 2. Black hair just doesn't grow. There's this huge misconception amongst some black people and non-black people alike that black hair just doesn't grow. Listen, if you ever see a black girl with especially long hair, don't just assume it's a weave, and definitely don't ask her if she's mixed with something, as if you have to be mixed to have long hair. All human hair, no matter race or ethnicity, grows at least half an inch a month, so black hair does grow. But because black hair is so tightly coiled, it can take longer to see the length. Shrinkage is real. Afro-textured hair tends to be weaker than straight hair, making it more prone to having the ends break off. But this doesn't mean our hair can't grow long, it just means that we have to take extra care of it in order to retain the length. It's mine, it's real, and you can't touch it. One method for retaining length and keeping black hair healthy is protective styling. Basically, keeping our hair under wraps with the use of styles like buns, wigs, twists, box braids, weaves, and other forms of extensions. Which brings us to our next myth. Myth number 3. Real talk, you only see black women out here wearing weaves. Look, changing your hair is fun. I do it all the time. Sew-in weaves and lace front wigs are no different from the clip-in and keratin bonded extensions we see many white celebs rock, but somehow weaves have become synonymous with black women. I mean, okay, that's partly because black ladies know how to lay a weave, and they've pretty much innovated and perfected the art of the undetectable install. But there's also this icky connotation where some people demonize, especially men, black women who wear weaves for being fake. Britney Spears, Lauren Conrad, Miley Cyrus, Reese Witherspoon, John Travolta, these are just a handful of white celebs who have definitely rocked a weave or a lace front or two. And I shouldn't have to say this, but wearing a weave doesn't make you fake or mean you lack confidence. It just means you like to play with your personal style. Myth number 4. Blonde hair and straightened hair are cultural appropriation. Okay, not to go too far into the whole cultural appropriation debate, but let's do a quick primer. Cultural appropriation happens when a majority group takes the cultural practice of a minority group, often without credit, and the minority group continues to be demonized or stigmatized for that same cultural practice. Cultural appropriation cliff notes. It's not cool when you do it, but it's cool when we do it. If your counter-argument for those who call out the co-opting and Columbusing of styles like cornrows, bantu knots, and afros is, but black women dye their hair blonde, here's why that doesn't work. First, there are numerous examples of black people with naturally blonde and even red hair colors. Secondly, and most honestly importantly, blonde hair is not exclusive to white people. Hell, straight hair is not exclusive to white people. And 3, white people are not being penalized through laws or social norms for having blonde hair. In fact, blonde hair is a status symbol for many people. But black hair has been historically stigmatized as unruly, unprofessional, unkempt, and ugly. A study published earlier this year found that black women are almost twice as likely to experience experience social pressures at work to straighten their hair compared to white women, and that white women, who make up 38% of female managers in the workforce, are more likely to rate natural black hair as, quote, less beautiful and, quote, less professional than smooth hair. The perception around natural black hair is so negative, in fact, that up until 2017, the US military actually had a ban on locks and natural hairstyles, including twists, cornrows, afros, and braids. The ban, known as Army Regulation 670-1, actually described natural hair as matted and unkempt. Really? Tell that to any of these fly women. Black hair, because it's synonymous with black people, has always been vulnerable to scrutiny, discrimination, and co-opting without giving credit. So yes, it's hair, but for many black people, there's also a lot of pride in how we choose to express ourselves through our hair in spite of everything. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Decoded. Bam!